We're going to jump right into this because this is like family. How you doing, Tammy? Looking all glamorous on a Saturday afternoon.
This old thing. I'm doing great, my friend. How are you?
It's good to see you. Mr. Rhymefest, I understand that you're running for the school board. You got your hands full. How you doing today?
I'm doing wonderful. We're out here in community and we're mixing it up with art, culture, community, and building each other.
That's awesome. And Terry, I understand that you're at the legendary warehouse there in Chicago doing a rededication. How you doing today?
Yes, sir. I'm here. I had to sneak in somebody else's car because it wasn't going to work outside. So I jumped to somebody else's car real fast to make this happen. So I'm good. What's up, everybody?
Rhymefest for CPS. What up, Terry? Hey, we're going to rap battle after this, bro.
Hey, listen. I've been waiting on you, bro.
All right. Let's get this battle kicked off the right way after this interview.
That all day. Listen, I already took down Jay Ivy. I'm hot right now. You don't want none. This ain't about us. This is about the queen. Tammy, what's happening?
Hello, my brothers. This is amazing.
Well, you know, for the people who don't know, all three of our guests today are from Chicago, and they have been creating music together and individually for a long, long time. I love Tammy's story because she literally has sung it all, from touring as a Raylette with Ray Charles to singing on the stage at Jazz at Lincoln Center. She literally has done it all. And so I'm glad that Allison, who's not on the screen, but very much part of this series, and I were able to facilitate an introduction between her and the legendary Terry Hunter. Why don't you tell that story, Tammy?
You know, I have always been a child of house music from the time I was in high school. This music has been run through the veins of all of us here in Chicago. I never saw myself as being part of that genre, but you know, Terry saw something in the music that Che and I created. He actually dreamed a bigger vision for us than we could have dreamed for ourselves. And the way that he saw the song "The World is a Ghetto" that we released last year on my record "Do I Move You," he saw it as a broader story and had a broader vision to really shift and change the motion, the rhythm, and it's just unbelievable. I can't be more grateful.
So Terry, I remember we were all sitting there in that back room at the restaurant, and Tammy got up there and sang it, and I literally saw your jaw drop.
Absolutely.
Tell us about your reaction to seeing Tammy up close and personal.
Listen, it's when you think you know everything and know everybody and has heard everyone sing, and then, you know, I knew who Tammy was, but I've never heard her live and in person. So I wasn't expecting that. I was like, oh, why am I just really meeting her right now? Like, and it was just such a good feeling to hear. Like, they don't make singers no more, not singers. They don't make singers no more. And she is a true singer. And when I heard that voice open up, I was like, oh yeah, we got to do something. We got to do something.
That's wonderful. And it's very real. So, I mean, I honestly don't know how Rhymefest and Tammy met. Tell your version of your relationship with Tammy.
Tammy and I met not around music, but around values. And so Tammy and I actually did a healing retreat with an organization called Iman Central with our brother Rami. And we just sat around the lake and we just talked about life and music and love and value systems. And we didn't work on music for about a year and a half after we knew each other. And then Tammy and I got a chance to travel to Africa together and do music. The first time we really began doing music was in Africa. We met enslaved people who were recently freed from enslavement, and we did music around the diasporic experience that we had. And so we were really bonded and bound together in our value system.
Well, that's a really great insight and segue into this idea of your approach to the war classic, The World is a Ghetto. Tammy, why did you choose that song for the album?
That song really chose me. The time that we were in COVID, it was a really, really hard time for creatives. But as much as we was taken away from us, I feel like we gained. We gained ourselves. We gained a knowingness that I think because we move so fast, we're touring, we're gigging, we don't have the time to really get centered, right? And this record, I wanted it to be kind of a way to bring out the feelings that we have been emotionally sequestered around. So I wanted to create music that would bring people's emotions back. I wanted them to feel love. I wanted them to feel hope, passion, anger. This is the George Floyd era. There was so much going on, and I wanted all of those emotions to pour out of that record. The World is a Ghetto. I was struck by the song because in the lyrics, when you look at the lyrics, you'll see that the song isn't "The World is a Ghetto." The song is "The world is what you make it." Well, I knew that I wanted a rap, a spoken word component, and nobody but my brother Che could really tell the story of the community, of ghettoized communities all over the world. And when he came into the story, it just took off.
So, Che, you actually had two opportunities to spit. You had the album version, and now you have this remix version, which goes in. Talk to me about the difference between your approach to each version.
So the first version, which is more of a jazz version, was an opportunity to kind of talk about where we've come from and where we can potentially go. That's
Right.
why on the second version, when we say things like Michael J. Fox, welcome to the future, but why we got to go back for a future? I just want to move on from the past, make love all night, and wake up with the roosters. Now we have an opportunity to go into the next realm of our existence, which is really our fullest potential. So, I was so blessed that I got a chance to be on two different versions to give two different versions of of where we've come from and reimagine our reality.
I love it. And I just love the fact that you guys met in that experience in Africa. It is that informs this experience in a completely different way. And I think that's extraordinary. There are no mistakes. There absolutely are no mistakes. None at all. And so, we got Terry sitting outside the warehouse celebrating.
Right? Isn't that amazing?
That is amazing to me. No mistakes whatsoever. So, Terry, I know when I first heard the record, let's just keep it 100. I just kept on hearing, "Oh, I'm working on it. I'm working on it." And then when you delivered it, I know I was just like, "Oh, that's what he was doing." You did a masterful reconstruction. So what was your process? What did you pick up first and start building around?
He needs to unmute.
Yeah. So for me, it was obviously that record is such a legendary record. And I actually a few years ago did a cover of it, but just musically, and we had a different top line over it. And so anytime you approach any record that's a classic to redo, it's like, oh man, what can I do to kind of either make this better or put my sound in it? And Tammy just made that very easy for me. But the difficult part that was for me is that record was done, it was live. It was a lot of live elements in there. It wasn't a gridded out record. And so that was the challenge. The first, if I put the time together, about a week was getting the vocals locked right. You know what I mean? Because I had to grid it to make it work. And so once I got past that, I kind of just said, you know what, let me listen to what Tammy's saying. And the fortunate part with Rhymefest, that's my brother in every sense of the word. And we've worked together many times. And I just said, all right, just do you, quit overthinking it. And I just felt I need to just do something that people would react to, that they will feel. You have so many people, I say nowadays, doing reconstructions. I like that word, Thornell, or, remaking a record, and they butcher it. They mess it up. The vocal's not right. The tracks is not right. And I didn't want that to happen with this particular project. And our first time working together, me and Tammy, to be a representation of that. So I took my time with it. And that was the thing, is that I was like, I'm not going to force it. I'm going to mess with it for a couple of hours. I'm going to leave. And then it'll just come how it should come in that aspect of trying to work under a due date, if you will. And I didn't want to do that. So I'm very happy with it. I've tested it out a few times and got an amazing reaction. And I can't wait for us to go full on with it and just service DJs and see what they think. And actually, it's funny. I started toying around with like a stripped down version of it, kind of for the clubs, like a dub kind of thing. And it's totally different from that version. So I can't wait for you guys to hear that.
Sounds like we're going to have a remix pack.
Absolutely.
Well, I got to tell you, you kind of brought it home with that, because we started with the original and Tammy's intent, and Che talked about his two different approaches to the rap break, and now you gave us the whole behind the scenes of how the track actually came together. And I know that you guys are so proud of it, as well as you should be. And I'm excited for having people actually listen and have an opportunity to get a different perspective.
Let me say this too. I think we need more from Tammy. We need more collaborations from the jazz front, from the house music front, also from our brother Rhymefest. Next year, I'm intentionally bringing back, I don't want to call it the term hip house, but I want to bring back rap lyrics over house music, jazz music over house music. It's been done before, but we've drifted away from it for such a long time. Right. It's time to redo it. And I think with this particular song, with all three of us on it, that can start a new wave. And I'm dead serious about that.
Yeah, that. Hey, and you got it.
This is so exciting. I'm on board.
From the man's mouth. So
and house.
So Rhymefest had to go. He's campaigning for the school. He's back.
Hey, I want to say I totally agree with Terry that we need to be doing cross-genre music. We totally need to bring back hip house, but not what hip house used to be. It has to be in a new way. Tammy and I are talking about we traveled the world. I'll tell you something I learned from all the projects that I've been doing with Ye, Common, whatever. We got to go somewhere where the vibe is and make an album where the vibe is, and then bring and put Chicago, infuse what our Chicago experience in it, and then bring that back to the world. It's very helpful to go do an album in Senegal, or do an album in Colombia, or do what creativity is. Creativity is not just something you do in a room on a mic. Creativity is taking that mic outside and letting the sounds of that island be inside the track as we give the expressive emotion of what's happening, and infusing the culture of where we're at with where we come from. So, to Terry's point, I'm looking forward to bringing back like hip house and infusing Afro beats, infusing reggaeton, infusing grime from London. It's all our drum.
It's all our drums, and that diverse mixture of not just genre, but evolution of rhythm. The rhythmic evolution isn't always Westernized or European. And so there are a myriad of cultures that we can draw all that from. And that's something that is so exciting. As a musician, I've been so blessed to have my brother Rhymefest really blossom me as a writer, as a producer. He has really pushed me to evolve as an artist. And so now I find myself in the house music realm, and it's just such an exciting adventure.
Let me say this, Tammy, we ain't done. We just scratching the surface. Let me tell you that.
You know what it is though, Tammy? I think not we, but a lot of artists let the music industry make them afraid of reaching outside of a comfort zone. I was just telling some young people the other day, they were asking me, they said, well,
how are you running for school board? And, you know, are you not going to rap anymore? I said, oh, you're confusing art for entertainment. I said, I don't do entertainment, I do art. So the art that I do is for my own therapy, and I have enough left over for the marketplace. It really ain't for the marketplace. So yeah, I can run for school board and do art.
There it is.
That's so awesome. I'm like, I feel like I found my tribe. Thank you.
Absolutely.
The rhythm never changes, and the root, but the Sounds of Blackness said it back in 1991. We are the drum, Africa to America.
That's it. And
But
you know,
listen,
the issue is,
I gotta run really quick because I'm
Yes.
getting kicked out this car. But
Okay.
I want to say this: everybody that's listening, for your consideration, I hope this is appropriate now, Thornell, and we ain't have to edit.
Perfect.
But
Yes.
I'm gonna say this: we've been back 2 years in a row, back-to-back nominations with stuff that I've done for major artists, and I think it's only fitting and right that we get this and we vote this beautiful record in, and let's go for another nomination. With this, I'm trying to take over everything, the best remix category, the best dance electronic, whatever it is. We not letting our foot off the gas.
Yeah.
The world is a ghetto. That's what it is, and that's what it's gonna be.
Hey.
And with that said, I love y'all. I'm getting kicked out this car. I'm gonna salute Frankie Knuckles and pay respect to what he's built for while we're doing what we're doing. And Fest, you know you my brother, man. We are family for real. I love you to death.
Get it. The world is a ghetto. Thanks.
we're going to
That's
meet at the summit. Yeah.
Could
That's
not
it.
have put a button on the end of this any better. Thank you so much, guys.
Love you,
Thank you,
Tammy.
Hey,
Dave.
y'all.
Love you
Yeah.
guys.